Hi everyone, my name's Larissa. Thank you for coming and doing a little bit of yoga with me today. The practice that I want to bring to you today is going to be geared towards you service industry folks. That is front of house, back of house, anything that involves working in a restaurant or a bar. I come from almost 10 years of experience and am surrounded by plenty of people in the same boat, and we have a lot of aches and pains that are very specific. All the way from your feet, obviously being on your feet for upwards of almost 12 hours a day, to your back, your shoulders, everything in between. So I have pieced together some of those main areas to bring to you guys. And what I suggest that you do with this practice is incorporate this in your weekly routine. Do this full sequence maybe 2 or 3 times a week. But while doing this sequence, I want you to really pull out, maybe 2 or 3 poses that really target your specific areas that you struggle with, or that hurt a little bit more than others, because we're all going to have aches and pains in different places. So take a few of those poses and then bring those to your practice when you get off of work. I know that, sometimes you might get off work really late at night and you don't want to sit here and do the 30-minute practice. So take a couple of those stretches, those poses, whether it's for your feet or targeting your shoulders, and bring that into maybe a 3 to 5 minute hold for each of those poses as you wind down after work. So go ahead, grab your mat. You are going to need a couple blocks, or you can use cushions, pillows, or something like that to help with a couple of these poses today. And let's get started. So we're going to start our practice today in Shavasana. So go ahead and lie down on your mat. Really let go of any tension that you might have anywhere. Just go ahead and plop down. Your legs are open, your arms are taking up space, feet open. And if you feel comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. Now, with the greatness of starting Shavasana, you might feel like this is so comfortable, I could just stay here the entire time. You could, but this is kind of just that moment that we want to bring our awareness not only to our breath, but to our entire body. A chance to really scan your body from head to toe. Start pinpointing those specific areas that just hurt after work, and they might hurt all the time because of it. So starting down with your toes and the arches of your feet and your heels, your ankles, maybe it's your calves, your knees, your thighs, your quads, up to your glutes. Maybe your glutes hurt after work. Your hips, down into your lower back, your spine, maybe into your abs, up through your shoulder blades, your pecs, your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, your fingers, your neck. And I know that a lot of us have a lot of head pain after working in the bar or the restaurant all night. So this is your chance to recognize what specific areas might need a little extra attention or extra love. And those are the areas that throughout all of these poses, if one feels really specifically good to that area, remember it and try that later to see if just doing that when you get off work alone will feel good. Take this chance to wind down. We're going to start rolling our wrists and our ankles. You can either keep your eyes closed or go ahead and open them, but really make good movements. Pointing your toes, flexing your feet, closing and opening your fingers as you roll your wrists and your ankles. We're starting to not only wake up our body, but work out those specific areas too. All right. And then go ahead, roll over onto your side, any side, into a quick little fetal position. One more chance to send a lot of love, a lot of gratitude throughout your entire body. And then gently push yourself up into Sukhasana, which is the sweet pose, which is simply sitting down on your mat, legs crossed in front of you. If you need a pillow or a cushion underneath your butt to lift your hips a little bit more comfortable, but find whatever spot you can relax your legs. You can have a tall spine, open chest. And again, I invite you to close your eyes if comfortable. If not, just gaze softly at a spot right in front of you. Start to deepen your inhales and elongate your exhales. All right, and we're going to start taking some circles with our neck, same as you did your wrists and your ankles. You want to work out any kinks in your neck. Helps throughout your shoulders. And go ahead and switch directions. And then come up to a neutral tall spine. With your right hand, go ahead and don't be forceful, but just kind of place it on the left side of your head and take your left hand straight down, fingertips onto the mat. What we're going to do is gently pull your head over to the right, and you're really going to feel a good stretch to the left side of your neck, through your shoulder, maybe even down to your fingertips. But stay soft. Pull that left shoulder down. And then head comes upright. Take a moment here and switch. The left hand on the right side of your head, right fingertips come down softly onto the mat. And then very slowly start to pull your head down towards the left shoulder as your right shoulder comes down. Feel a good stretch in your right side of your neck. Any tension from holding your shoulders up to your ears, or moving your hands around, shaking too many cocktails, flipping too many foods, whatever. We really want to open up that neck, that shoulder area. All right, let go. Hands come onto your knees, palms face up, tall spine. I invite you to close your eyes for just a moment here as you start to really ground your tailbone, your sit bones down into the mat. With every exhale, you soften your shoulders down away from your ears. And be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself. Let's feel better. All right, come on to all fours, tabletop position. You want your hips stacked over your knees, your shoulders stacked over your wrists. In that same theme so far, we're going to start taking circles. So you're going to start rotating over your wrists, over your knees, either direction at first. And you'll start to feel a good stretch through the back side of your arms, a little bit deeper in your hips. And then switch directions. You can make this as small or big of circles as you need to really stretch out the wrists. Your palms are firmly planted into the mat. and then come back to a neutral spine. With a big breath in, we're going to sink our belly down towards the mat. Take your gaze up. Tailbone goes up, cow. And with a big exhale, you're going to roll your shoulders down towards the mat. Look down, take your gaze between your knees, cat. Big inhale, lower your belly, shoot your tailbone up, bring your head up, gaze goes up. And with your exhale, really stretch between your shoulder blades into cat. Take a couple more cat-cows, moving with your own breath at your own pace, whether it's a little bit faster or slower, just to continue working out any of those sticky spots, any of those kinks, anything that hurts. All right, and then come back to neutral spine, same tabletop position. Take your right palm and reach through, thread the needle under your left arm. Bring your right shoulder down onto the mat. Your right arm is straight. You can have your left palm planted down onto the mat or reach up, but you're gonna get a good shoulder stretch. A little bit of a spinal twist. Feel it between your shoulder blades. Stay with your breath. Be sure to fill up completely before letting it go. Slowly return both palms to the mat. Hang out here for just one relaxing breath in and sigh it out through your mouth. Other side, left hand reaches down through under your right arm. Left shoulder comes down to the mat. Left ear down to the mat. Your right palm can stay planted down firmly or reach your arm up. We're getting a good stretch in our shoulder, a little bit of a spinal twist. And then just as slowly, return both palms to the mat. With your knees as wide as the mat, bring your toes together and sit back down into a child's pose. Your arms are going to reach in front of you as you guide your hips back down towards your heels. You're going to feel a good stretch outside your shoulders, down your arms, down through your spine. You can definitely rest your head, your forehead down on the mat here, but we want to keep our arms active, elbows lifted up, straight arms, strong arms. And then we're going to slowly walk our palms towards us, sitting up. Now your toes are untucked first. This is going to hurt a little bit, but it feels good for your toes. Go ahead, tuck your toes underneath of you, but then sit back down on your heels. Your legs are still wide, knees pointing out both directions, and we're going to start feeling a good stretch in our toes. We want to hang out here for just a few cycles of breath. This is a really good pose if you are on your feet a lot, if you run a lot. It's just stretching a part of your body that we don't always think about. And our toes are part of our feet, which are the most important part. Feel a good stretch, even down through your pinky toes. Definitely back off a little bit, sit up if you need to, but try to hold it as long as you can here. All right, and then go ahead, untuck your toes, walk your knees up a little bit further towards the front of your mat, and untuck your toes, sit back down. Bring your hands behind you, lift up your hips, tuck your tailbone down, and then sit back down onto your heels. You're immediately going to feel a good stretch throughout the front of your quads, all the way up into your hips. for a hero's pose. Now with this, it feels really good to recline all the way down onto your back if you want to. But today I'm going to say, don't do that. Just don't push yourself yet. Point your fingertips back towards the back of your mat. So flip your palms face down, and then pull your shoulder blades together. Really open your chest. Still feeling a good stretch in your quads, and drop your head back. Don't hold any tension. Your head is loose, your head is heavy. You're feeling a stretch to the inside of your biceps, through your quads. And then very slowly start to come back up towards a seated position. Plant your palms onto the mat, tuck your toes, and lift your hips back into a downward facing dog. Now in this dog, a lot of people don't think of it as much of a targeted pose, but it's an all over body stretch. Push your palms firmly down into the mat, dig your heels closer towards the mat, take a couple of pedaling motions with your feet, and you'll start to feel an even deeper stretch in your calves, which can always be tight after working. You're going to feel a good stretch through your shoulder blades as you push your chest down closer towards the mat, closer back towards your feet. Lift your hips. Stay with your breath. Now we're going to slowly walk our feet and our hands close together into this forward fold. We're going to keep this passive, no grip or anything like that, kind of between a forward fold and a ragdoll. Take your knees, bend them back and forth. You're going to start feeling a good stretch through the back of your thighs, up through your glutes. A little bit of movement here. And then we want to find some stillness. You can either reach for opposite elbows. You can clasp your fingers and put them behind your head. You want your head to be heavy. Really lengthen the back of your neck as you draw your nose closer towards your knees. Maybe bring a slight bend to your knees. Your spine is heavy. All right, palms back down onto the mat, and step either foot back, doesn't matter which one. And as soon as you step it back, rotate both of your feet so that you're facing the side of your mat, both toes pointed in the same direction. We're going to do another forward fold, but wide legs. So we're going to get a little bit deeper to the inside of our thighs, still up and down the backs of our legs. You can either keep your hands planted on the mat, on the ground. You can reach for the outsides of your ankles. A little bit deeper of a stretch. All right, palms back on the mat in front of you. Walk your feet just a little bit closer together, about hips width distance apart, maybe a little bit farther, and turn your toes out. Slowly lower your hips down into this sumo pose, this malasana. So your toes are pointed outward. You're going to bring your elbows inside your knees, palms together at your heart. You want a long, tall spine, open chest. And with your elbows pushing into your knees, you're getting a little bit good, a deeper stretch on the inside of your thighs, but still a stretch up and down your spine through your shoulders, really in your hips. Sumo yoga. You can hang out here for several minutes. It really is a good stretch throughout your legs to release any of that tension. All right, plant your palms onto your mat over the right side of your leg, and we're going to shoot our legs back into a high plank. Now, I know as soon as I say high plank, you're going to say, but I don't want to plank. I just got off work. Who wants to plank? But planking is so important for our core muscles, and our core muscles are so important for the strength of all of our body. So we want to hold this for just a few moments. Really feel the energy surging through your body, start to heat up. Hold it for 3. Start to lower for 2. And come all the way down for 1. Let go, have your arms tee out either side. Chin or forehead rest to the mat like a little airplane. And then first, with your right arm still stretched long, teeing out from the side of you, bring your left palm onto the mat and start to roll over onto the right side of your body. Your left leg comes up and around you. You're getting a good right shoulder stretch here, a small spinal twist. And slowly roll back onto your stomach. Tee your arms out either side. Hang out for just a moment. And other side, left arm still long. Right palm comes down onto the mat. Roll onto your left side. Right leg comes behind you. Good deep stretch in your left shoulder. And then slowly roll back onto your stomach. Hands come underneath of your shoulders onto the mat. With an inhale, lift your chest up. Slight baby cobra, a little bit of a back bend. And then as you exhale, come back down to the mat. One more time. Big inhale. Slowly peel your chest up off of the mat. Gaze forward. And exhale, lower back down to the mat. Push your hips up and back into a child's pose, but knees are closed. Knees together, feet together. Lower your stomach onto your thighs. Your head comes down to rest onto the mat, and your arms hang loose beside you. Curling up into a little bitty ball, your little safe space. Everything is relaxed. And then from here, reach your palms back behind your heels, grab onto your feet. Lift your head slightly so that the crown of your head is on the mat, but don't rest it on the mat, just hovering. And then with a big inhale, lift your hips. With your grip still tight on your feet, you'll start to feel a good stretch through the back of your shoulder blades. This is rabbit. This is a good one for any shoulder pain, any upper back pain. Hold it for 3, 2, and slowly start to lower. All right, palms come back onto the mat. Tuck your toes, and we're going to stand up onto our toes. Toe balance. So if you have those blocks or those cushions, anything around you that is stable, bring them on either side of you. We want to do a toe balance, but modified. I'm not going to push it at this point, but with the toe balance, you really want to lift your heels up higher. Feel that good stretch, that good arch onto your toes, almost like before, but now we're sitting up on them. And with the balance of your blocks or whatever you have, it's not easy to talk and do this. I didn't realize that. Really have a tall spine. Open your chest. Pull your shoulder blades back. Start to feel that heat in your toes again. They'll thank you later. This is also called broken toes. So it's not meant to feel good, but it feels good in the long run. And from here, very gently, slowly lower your seat down. Feet come out in front of you into cobbler, soles of your feet together. You can keep your blocks and put them underneath your knees if you need a little support there. Tall spine, clasp your fingertips underneath your feet. lift, your heart shines forward. Pull your knees down towards the ground. Feel a good stretch in your inner groin and your inner thighs. Your tailbone is securely grinding down into the mat. All right, and then let go of any grip or tension that you have. Get your thumbs ready on the inside arches of your feet. Go ahead and give yourself a massage. You deserve it. You've been on your feet for who knows how many hours. You worked so hard. You put up with a lot of BS. Your feet need love. Your feet are what takes care of you. So give yourself a little bit of a foot massage. If you have someone at your house to do it for you, you're lucky. We don't all have that. So give your own feet a massage. All right, and then listen carefully here. Go ahead, lift your right knee up, slide your left leg, twist it around you, and your right knee comes up and over your left. So you kind of are in this seated spinal twist. You don't want to have your right cheekbone up off the mat. Keep your heel out from underneath of you. Right foot is down, left foot is crossed over the top of you. Your right hand comes down behind you, little kickstand. And with a big breath in, lift your left arm up. And as you exhale, twist over to the right side, your left hand or your left elbow outside your right leg. Feel a good massage of your internal organs, lower spine twist. Chest is tall, open. Don't put too much weight into the right hand, but it's still there to support you. And then slowly unwind back into cobbler. Tall spine, neutralize your spine, shake it out if you need to, and other side. So your right leg curls around you, left leg comes up and over your right knee. Your left foot is right outside your left butt cheek, but your sit bones are still secure down onto the mat. Your left foot is planted into the mat. Left hand comes back, little kickstand. Big breath in, right hand comes up. And as you exhale, right elbow outside your left leg. Spinal twist on the other side. Open your chest. Really practice on taking your gaze back over your left shoulder. You can feel that stretch to the outside of your quads and your glutes. And slowly come back to a neutral spine. This time, hug your knees in closer to your body. Tall spine. All right, and then walk your feet out a little bit further away from you, still planted down onto the mat. And we're going to go into a boat pose, which is another one that's really going to work on your core, but modified. So you want to keep your feet into the mat, tall spine, open your chest, and your arms reach out in front of you. Keep your arms active, your shoulders down away from your ears. Big inhale, lift up, and exhale, slowly come back, only about halfway back. Then inhale, rise all the way up. Feel your sit bones down into the mat, tall spine. And exhale, come about halfway down. Inhale, rise back up, tall spine, lift up. And as you exhale, we're going to come all the way down, but still slow, controlled, until your spine is all the way down onto the mat. Go ahead and situate yourself so you're all the way on your mat. Soles of your feet close to your butt so you can reach the backs of your heels with your fingertips. We're going to go into a bridge pose, but we're going to support ourselves with our hands. This is another good one to kind of tune it down a little bit, not so strong, but you'll feel the good stretch in your fingertips and your joints as well. So start to walk your shoulder blades underneath of you. And with an inhale, guide your hips up towards the ceiling. Take your hands and reach them. Hook your thumbs underneath of your hips, like right above your glutes, and really spread your fingers wide as you hold on to your hips. Thumbs are the only one underneath. As they lift and guide your hips up a little bit further, squeeze your glutes. Hold this for a few breaths. You'll feel the heat in your thighs. And then just as slowly, start to lower yourself. Your spine comes down gently onto the mat. And hug both knees in. Give yourself a little squeeze. All right, interlace your fingers around your right knee. Left leg goes long. Keep your left leg active, your toes flexed as you gently pull your right knee in towards your chest, towards your armpit. And then the sole of your left foot comes back onto the mat. With your right hand, reach the outside of your right foot for a half happy baby. You're going to pull your leg straight down towards the mat, getting a little bit deeper of a hip stretch. And then figure four, your right leg comes over the top of your left thigh. And you're going to feel a good stretch in your right thigh throughout your psoas. And if this is deep enough of a stretch for you, stay here. If not, if you need a little bit further, thread the needle, reach for the back of your thigh or your shin, and keep your right foot flexed. Your right toes come back towards your shin. As you guide your left leg closer to your body, you'll feel a really great stretch throughout your right glutes, the back of your right leg. Your spine is so long, supported by the mat. All right, and then undo that twist, pull both knees into your body, give yourself a hug. Then interlace your fingers around your left knee, right leg goes long. Keep that active, your right toes are flexed as you pull that left knee in. And then plant your right foot back down onto the mat. With your left hand, reach for the outside of your left foot, half happy baby on the other side. You're going to really gently pull that left knee down closer to the ground so you feel a deeper stretch in the left hip. And go ahead, figure four on the other side. Cross your left leg over the top of your right thigh. Keep your left toes flexed. And then reach for behind your right thigh or your right shin. And pull that right leg closer to you. Every inhale, your right leg might go a little bit further away. Your belly pushes on your thigh. And then every exhale, pull that right thigh closer towards your belly as your left knee pulls away from you. Feel a good stretch in that left outer hip, the left glutes. Go ahead and untwist those legs again. Pull both knees into your body. Give yourself a little hug. And then go ahead and get into a Shavasana position, but grab a block or a cushion. And we're going to do fish. So what it is basically like you're laying flat down onto your mat, but we really want to arch so that our chest is opening. So it's good to have a little bit of a support underneath of you. It might take a moment to find that spot, to find whatever works best for you. But right on the middle of your spine, between your shoulder blades, so that the top of the back of your head can still comfortably reach down to the mat. So if you need to take a peek at the camera, I've just got a little bit of a block. You can have a little cushion or something there, really just kind of opening to lift your chest up. And your arms come out beside you. Your legs are open. It's like Shavasana with an elevated arc to your spine. And this is another really great pose to hold for 3 to 5 minutes if you can find that comfortable spot. And it helps to alleviate any of the pain that you might have had, not only in your upper spine, but all along your spine, throughout your shoulders, especially your chest. I do invite you to close your eyes here if you can, to really surrender to your mat as we close down this practice. Come back to a natural rhythm in your breath. Your limbs be heavy. Just a few more breaths here with that spine support before our final Shavasana. And then be very careful, very gentle to come out of this. Lift your head up off of the mat and come onto your elbows before removing whatever it is that you have underneath of you. And then slowly come back all the way down onto the mat. Final Shavasana. Your shoulder blades are slightly tucked underneath of you. Your arms and your legs are taking up all the space around you. Be heavy. You can still feel little darts of energy kind of coursing through your body, letting you know of any spots that maybe you have relieved of their tension or their pain, or any spots that were like, hey, I need more attention. You can always come back to the sequence to pick out which poses feel best for you, for your aches and your pains, and spend time on those. Go a little deeper and use those for anytime you get off work, whether it is at noon or midnight. Have something to come to pay attention to your body and appreciate your body for the work that it's done. I advise you to lay here for as long as you can, if it's just for another minute, if it's for 10 minutes, but really bring this time to your body to take care of yourself, focus on yourself. Again, I suggest that maybe doing this full sequence a couple times a week might really help all of those aches and pains to alleviate over time. But to choose any of these poses that target specific areas of your body and your pains to be more beneficial for you after you get off at the restaurant or the bar. I thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your night. Namaste.